EGM Network.
Welcome to Scouted Treasure Coast, where we highlight business owners, artisans, and community stewards on the Treasure Coast. Today, I have Linda Downey with Trimmings Home Garden and Gift, and we're going to talk about home, garden, and gifts. And Linda. So welcome, Linda. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, well, let's get started here.
Okay.
So I know I was reading in your bio that you actually were a buyer with Marshall Field.
I was. Are you familiar with Marshall Field?
I remember it. Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore.
No.
And that dates me. But yes, that was when I got out of school. Very, very short period of time I was with Marshall Fields, and then I got married, and my husband whisked me away to Florida. Okay. And so that was my very short-lived career.
All right. So what specific like categories were you in with Marshall Field?
Sportswear, junior sportswear.
Okay. All right. But you at least learned like the buying process.
I did. Yes.
Okay. All right. And then fast forward, I know that you were with the Riverside Theater with education.
That's right. That's kind of a long story, but
that's okay.
When we moved here, which we moved here in 1972, which I counted the other day was 55 years ago. Can you believe it? And we were just out of school, and my husband's family had wintered here since the 50s, and so we came down here as a large group of Downeys, and not having a lot to do, I got really involved with the nonprofit, which was really starting up at that point. Okay. And I focused mostly on education and the arts, which are my main interests. Of course, I had children in school, too.
Right.
I was on the first committee to start the Children's Art Festival when the museum was starting out. And then I was involved with a group of people that thought that we needed some theatrical education for our kids, and there was some grant money available through the state of Florida. And so we went to Riverside, which was much smaller venue and much smaller organization than it is today, and said we would like to have a children's program. So they said, go ahead, you want to do it, you do it. So we formed the Riverside Children's Theater. And I was involved with it from the beginning. And at one point we had a wonderful children's director. His name was Michael Kent, and you might know his name because he went on to be the executive director of the United Way in Indian River County for a long time. But when Michael left, there was a void, and I stepped in and filled it on a part-time basis, and I ended up there for 18 years.
Okay.
And so it was not necessarily a career, but it was something that I really, really felt passionate about. And that's my background.
Okay. And then Trimmings evolved. Now, I know you've told me the story about the name, so can you tell our listeners and viewers?
Well, I don't know. I have lots of different versions of that, I guess. Trimmings, to me, I wanted, when I was at the theater, I was involved with, we had a festival of trees back then.
Yes.
And I coordinated that for quite a few years and and of course, Christmas has always been a passion for me, and the holidays and so forth. So when I left the theater, actually, I needed something to do. And fortunately, my husband's family owns this building on Cardinal Drive and on the beach. And I talked my husband into letting me have some space and open a little shop. And I thought I wanted a Christmas shop.
Oh, okay.
And so that was originally what it was going to be. And then antiques have been a passion of mine for a long, long time. And so I thought, well, I'll sell antiques and Christmas. And then I realized that neither of those things were a big draw. So I expanded it, and I thought, well, the name Trimmings could apply to anything that is an enhancement for the home, for yourself, as a gift. So that's where we got Trimmings.
Okay. So tell us a little bit how you source everything in the store, because You have, a lot of.
I have a lot.
Yeah, but obviously there's a procurement process that you go through because it's very thought out. So.
Well, it is and it isn't. I started out with, I had about 9 categories that I classified things in. The antiques, art, home decor, gifts, what else? Tabletop, which to me is placemats, napkins, anything for the,
Right.
serveware.
But you have gifts for him too.
I have gifts for him, gifts for her, gifts for kids,
Yep.
and gifts for yourself, which
Right.
is mostly fashion accessories right
Right.
now.
With the kids, I noticed you carry the Peter Rabbit.
Yes, the Beatrice Potter
I love that stuff.
children's
Yeah.
pot. Well, it's actually metal.
Okay.
It's a great product. It
Right.
goes in the oven and it can go in the refrigerator with it, and it's great for
Right.
moms. It's a wonderful baby gift.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it was my grandmother always had one of the Nantucket baskets.
Mm-hmm.
So, immediately when I came in your store and I saw that, it was
Yes.
like, because she always had one. In fact, we had to, towards her, later years, we had to get it from her and figure out how we were going to, kind of refurbish it for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was not letting go of it because she couldn't go up to Nantucket anymore.
Right.
So I always, it's something when I come into the store, I always think about that, but I love them. It's such a unique.
It is, and I kind of fell into that. Joan Penny, who is a friend of mine, it makes them.
Okay.
And she used to live on Nantucket. She's made them for a long time, and this is kind of a hobby for her, and so she's been selling them through the shop, and we've sold a lot of baskets for her, and she does the shoulder bags, the handbags. She does, they have lining, and it's like a vase
Right.
with the
Right.
woven part on top of it. She's very creative. So that, and it really adds to the character of the store. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. So is that, because you do have a bit of a Nantucket inspired, meets Florida coastal.
Right.
So is that where that comes from, or where?
I think it looks that way, and I have people from the Northeast come in and say, "Where's your store on Nantucket?" Well,
Right.
or do you have another store? I said, "No, just this one." But it's mostly just the things that I like, and because I've lived here for so long, I have a sense of what people like me. I buy for people like me, what they require.
Right.
And it changes. It's evolved over the years. So this is going to be our 9th year. So that's good too, because
Right.
I like to pick up on suggestions from my customers,
Right.
and I spend a lot of time in this store because
know
I
you
like
do.
to hear what they have to say. I learn so much from my customers.
Right. No, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. So one of my favorites, which I'm going to ask you about, the Czechoslovakian trees.
Yes.
Besides the Nantucket baskets, the first time I came in, that was the first thing I noticed, because I too love Christmas. My birthday's around Christmas time, but I also love like the stained glass effect of it. So can you talk about the history of
I
that?
started collecting them myself about 15 years ago, and they what they are they're varying sizes from little teeny 2-inch ones on up to
Right.
12, 13-inch ones, and they are made out of metal and with rhinestones.
Right.
And they're beautiful. They were made in Czechoslovakia in the 1940s and 50s, and they were intended to go as a decoration at Christmas time on the mantelpiece. I've kind of taken it a little further, and if you don't have a mantel, which most people down here don't,
Right.
put them in front of a window. A grouping on the dining room table are beautiful. So I have sold so many of those, and I keep my fingers crossed because I hope that I can always keep my source, and because eventually there won't be any more, and because
Right.
they're limited, but they are beautiful.
How did you find them?
I found them in an antique shop,
Okay.
and I just discovered them, and I started buying them.
Here or
no,
somewhere?
no, up north.
Oh, okay.
In the Midwest, actually.
Oh, okay.
And there are a few other stores in the States that carry them, and they're being copied. You'll see them in department stores, and they're not the same.
Yeah, no, they're not the same, but I know what you're talking about.
There's something about them.
Yeah,
You look at them, you feel them, you can tell what they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was actually my husband's idea when I was starting to think about the store. He said, "Why don't you sell the trees?" And I said, "Oh, think I could?" He said, and so I went back and I found a source for them, and it's worked out.
So you're antiquing, because I know, yes, you have some antiques in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about that. How long have you been antiquing? And
I started probably 30 or 40 years ago. There was a wonderful antique shop owned by a couple. Friends of ours, Joyce and John Maple, they had a store called Antique Investments. And I learned an awful lot from them about antiques. And so I've been collecting myself for a long time. So what I sell is primarily what I like and what's in my home.
Mm-hmm. How do you source it?
That was one of the things that I was a little worried about when I started. Where am I going to find them? But I started going to antique stores, antique shows, and I found a dealer who's just been wonderful, and he's over in Sarasota, and so he and I work a lot together. He has wonderful fine antiques, 17th, 18th century, mostly mahogany pieces. And then I do a lot with the English bamboo, which has that tropical look.
Right.
And people really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really pretty.
Great pieces, especially the shelves for bathrooms.
Right.
In Florida.
So do you still go to antique shows?
I sure do. I have to.
Right. So which one's your favorite?
I go up to North Carolina to a great one in Cashiers.
Oh, yeah. I think, that's
in August.
Okay. Do you ever go to, is it an auction house there in Highlands?
There used to be. It's not there anymore.
It isn't?
No, and actually they were from Palm Beach, and they had a place up in Highlands, and they had it there for a while, but they're not there anymore.
Okay.
And then I just do a lot of research and sourcing. I go up to New England, and I have small towns in Georgia. Atlanta has a lot of good antique shows that I go to.
Okay.
So it's just, I can incorporate it in our travels. So the summertime is my buying time.
Okay. All right. So you have some trips planned for this summer?
We do, yes.
Okay. Where are you going?
Well, we're in June. Well, I go to the markets, the gift show markets,
right.
And they're both in June that I'm going to this year. I'm going to Atlanta the beginning of June, then I'm going out to Dallas the end of June.
Okay.
Then we'll go to North Carolina in August, and then probably...
What makes you go out to Dallas?
Well, my daughter lives in Texas.
Okay. All right.
So that was...
part of it.
That's part of it, but she doesn't live in Dallas. But it's a great show because it's smaller than Atlanta. It's very easy to navigate. You can find the same things there. You can find different things there.
Right, I would think, yeah.
And so I have found that my buying has improved since I've been there because I can source things that the other stores in town are not carrying because they're all going to Atlanta.
Because they're all going to Atlanta. That's smart, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with it.
Okay.
It's worked out.
All right. What other things are you, thinking about, maybe different stuff in the store or?
It always evolves. I haven't, and the summertime is when I do that. And
right.
Oftentimes we'll do some remodeling, close.
Yeah, last summer I think you were closed 5 weeks.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's quiet time, and it's a good time for me to kind of clear things out, kind of rethink things. I have the store painted every year. I'm very meticulous.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that.
Obnoxious about that, but I like it to be clean, and so I have painters come in every August, around the 1st of August, and they paint, and then I just put everything away, then I put it all back in a different way. I look at things differently. It's a creative process for me.
Yeah, yeah. And you're in the gardening, so you have garden too. So how do you go about how what is your process with what you carry for the garden?
plants?
Yeah.
Well, I most of my plants are locally sourced. I have my orchid guy comes every Tuesday and Thursday.
All right.
And delivers the orchids. And then I have a great young woman who found me. She has her own flower farm down in St. Lucie County.
Oh, okay.
Jessica. And she does hand-tied bouquets, and she brings them every Wednesday.
All right.
And we have a flower list, and we call those people, and they come in and pick up their flowers. So it's worked out well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But you have like the pots,
I
and
have
you
pots.
carry all that. So how do you?
Well, I get those when I go to the gift shows.
Okay, that's what
mostly.
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I noticed. Are you still on the board with the Ballet of Vero Beach?
Yes, you've been really busy checking me out.
Well, that's my job.
Yes. I'm chairman of the board. I have been for a while.
Yeah, so I noticed that there was just you guys just had an event. Was that the end of season?
We call it Ballet Under the Stars.
That's what it is, and it was a vacant lot, I think.
Well, it has been at a place called Treehouse.
Okay.
Is south.
Yes, I know where that is. Yep.
North A1A.
Yes.
Or no, North US 1. But this year we moved to Windsor and
Okay.
kind of upped our game a lot.
Yeah.
And it was really
Yeah.
nice. We have a great band that we've been using for, this was, I think, the third year that we've done the event. And
You're still the board. Are you the board?
Chairman.
You're the chairman. Yeah. Okay. How long have you been?
Well, when that goes back a long way too.
Okay.
Adam Schnell, who's the director of Ballet Vero Beach, was one of my teachers at the Children's Theater.
Oh.
Actually, we were talking about it the other night. His mother came to me when he was a professional dancer. When he was just about to wind down his career, she came to me and she said, "My son needs a job." And so I said, "Well, have him come talk to me." So he started teaching our summer program in dance. And
okay.
He's just great with the kids. He was just really good with the children. Great teacher. So I hired him, and he was at the theater for quite a few years. And then when I retired, actually a little bit before the time I retired, he decided to start the Ballet Vero Beach Company. And so when I retired, he asked me if I could come on his board.
Right.
So I did.
Now, they're not here in the summer. Is that correct? Does he
No,
go?
he's here.
Oh, he is?
He is. They do a great summer program. I think it's 2 weeks in August at Riverside. And it's the kind of thing where it's very serious teens who are interested in dance. And he brings in an outside dance company, and they work with the kids for 2 weeks, and then they do
What are the ages of the kids, do you know?
I'm a little rusty on these details, but they're teens.
Okay.
They're teens.
Like trying to, maybe go to college for performing arts or something.
Or use that as something extra.
Stepping stone.
It's a great program. It started back when I was there at the theater, and it's continued on. So that's how long I've been with the band. It's been a long time.
How many shows are there a year
About 4.
with Ballet of Vero?
Ballet Vero Beach.
Okay, so they have
the
opening
Nutcrackers
season and
they do. Let's see, or why they do? We do the Nutcracker. Well, I think there's one in the fall at the museum.
Yeah,
there's a performance at the museum, and then we do the Nutcracker in December, and this past year it's gone to Riverside instead of the high school.
The Nutcracker was at the Riverside.
And it was great.
Yeah,
because at the theater there are so many more performance elements.
Yes,
that can be added.
Right.
There. So that
the
was
technical and
exactly.
Yeah.
And the costumes were fabulous. And then there's a January performance at the Vero Beach High School. February performance at the high school. Nothing in March. I don't think. If Adam's listening to that, he'll know I'm messing this up. And
he can send us.
We have one more in May.
Okay.
Coming up.
Oh, you do? Mm-hmm. So when was the one? Because I saw that online. The one that was just under the stars.
Oh, that was the party. That was Ballet Under the Stars.
Okay.
Under Buzz, we call it Buzz, B-U-S.
And that was the one that was at Windsor?
Yes.
Okay. And then what's coming up in May?
There's 2 weekends of performances. They do the same pieces. One, first weekend, it's at the McAlpin Center down at the college.
Oh, it is down at IRSC?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the next following weekend, it'll be at Riverside.
Oh, so the last show of the year is at Riverside?
At Riverside. I think it's like the 3rd weekend in May, 3rd or 4th.
Okay. So you're very busy.
Well, that's not me.
I know, but still, I mean, you have a lot going on besides the store.
I'm really happy to do, because I believe in what, of course, I have encouraged him to go in that direction. Adam has done with they do a lot of work with children.
Yes.
And I really believe in the importance of education.
Through the arts.
Through the arts.
Yes, I agree.
It really, to me, it legitimizes the arts because it broadens it, makes it available for so many more people. And Adam understands that, and he's just done a fabulous job of that. And so I stay on his board because I really support that.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some trips for the summer. Are you any plans to maybe bring you're going to look at some other stuff, maybe bring some new things into the store?
I think, always new things, and you never know what it's going to be till you see it.
Right, so in the fall, so you'll close in
I'll
August.
close and I'll redo and make some changes, definitely some changes. I'm going to, I've got a carpenter there this week working on some new cabinets for outside, so we'll, work on changing that up a little bit.
Oh, where the
I have a little garden area.
Yes, right. So we're going to change
it's
that.
Trying to change things. I'm adding some new things. One thing that I started bringing in, and it came from my customers last Christmas. I sell wreaths for the doors, Christmas wreaths, and they said, can you put a bow on this? Well, I don't have I can't put a bow on. So anyway, I started buying ribbon, and I've found a source for beautiful, beautiful ribbons, the real thick ones, the wired ones, and I've learned how to make bows.
Really?
So I'm going to expand that.
For Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
So these wreaths, you have someone that sources them for you? Or?
No, I buy them.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I find them with just part of what I do.
Are they like outside or inside?
They can be either.
Okay.
They're not. I tried live wreaths one time, but they just didn't do.
I know.
The timing is not good for us, and by the time the customers get to wanting them, they're all dried up.
I know. I've done that before at my own house, and I thought, it was like a week later, and we had like 2 weeks before Christmas, and I was like, this thing is dead. So,
right.
But yeah, no, it's nice. Okay, so you're going to do that. So there's a lot of new stuff.
Oh, there's always something new.
Yeah.
You just never know where it's going to come from.
All right, so you'll be closed in August and then reopen in September.
Probably mid to late September. Depends.
Mid to late September.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a lot of more goodies to look for to come in. And
well, yes, September, October, when I get a deluge of holiday, I do tons of Christmas business. Christmas, and also Easter has become very
I can
big.
see that because you do kind of have the flair in the store for Easter as well, Christmas and Easter.
Yes.
Yeah,
found some great bunnies, and it's just fun.
Yeah, I saw that online. You had some fairly large ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. My grandmother always had that too, so that was interesting. I wonder where she got them. She had one that was like the size of my son at one time.
Oh, well, yes.
And I saw that online, and that's when I was like, "Hey, wait a minute." So, anyways, well, do you have anything else that you want to share with the viewers or listeners?
Well, I don't know. You mentioned what I thought the retail scene was going to be like in the future. And of course, nobody has a crystal ball, but I'm hoping that we're going to get more retail on Cardinal Drive. We're 1 block away from Ocean, but that's
right.
For people
I think Cardinal's busy though.
It is busy, but I'm hoping it'll become more so. The Monkeys that's gone in has helped a lot.
Yeah, yes, she's done a great job.
Yes, she has.
Yeah.
It's
So-
funny, my daughter has a monkeys in Amarillo, Texas, so I'm very familiar with monkeys.
Yeah,
It's a great
it is.
company.
Yeah. But Emily's done really well there. So, yeah, no, I can see where there's a lot starting.
There
to,
could be more,
on Cardinal,
and
but
I
it's
think
starting to. You can see where it's kind of going down the line.
right, and I think that the rent must be really high on Ocean, and so that I
would
think will
have to be.
probably
Absolutely.
because that's one thing that I try to do is keep my prices moderate and reasonable. I don't put a price on something unless it's something that I feel I would pay for it.
Right.
So I'm not taking the full markup that you can.
Right.
Because I just I don't have those expenses, and so I just like to pass it on to my customer. So I think those are the challenges that are going to be ahead of us, and the fact that we're going to have some more national companies, retail companies coming into town. We're already seeing that.
You think so?
I think so.
Who are you? Who are you seeing?
Well, we got Gretchen Scott, which I love Gretchen Scott, but that's it's just a little bit different.
Now,
it's
where
not
is
all
she?
the mom and
Where
pop.
is she going?
She's already in. She's on Ocean Drive.
Okay, I have to go. I haven't seen that yet, but well, certainly with Saks and Neiman's, that whole thing I think has shaken a lot of.
It's an interesting time. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a challenging time. But for those that can stick it out,
I think it's going to benefit the small business owners like yourself.
I hope so.
But certainly what you're doing by going to different shows is obviously going to help, because I think that's what they want, something different. If they can find something different.
That's right. And I really believe, of course, my generation is used to being able to see something and put your hands on it before you buy it.
I agree.
And then the younger generation is not so much that way, but there is a real value in that.
I think that's changing a little bit, though.
I think you're right.
Because I see that with my son. He would rather, go to the store to find it now than order it online. Obviously, if you can't get it at the store, you have to order it online.
That's right.
So, and that might be what's changing too, is, there'll be room for two, but it's just wherever you can't get it, then you can order it online.
No, there's room for both. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But it changes things a little bit.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time.
Well, certainly. I mean, you do put so much hard work, and you carry what you carry in the store is so unique, and it's always like refreshing when you walk in. So, I think places like Trimmings is there's always going to be a place for that on Cardinal or anywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah,
well,
you're welcome.
It's my fun.
I know. I can see that. We can see that. So, but with that, do you have anything else that you want to maybe share today?
Oh, goodness, I don't know. You gave me an open platform.
I mean, if not, I really appreciate you coming in and, sharing your story with us.
You're quite
taking
welcome.
the time to do that.
I appreciate your having me, and I appreciate what you were doing with the Scout Guide. I think, as I was telling you before we started, I've practically gone, all of the ones I had in the store are almost gone, and I think that people are catching on after a year under your belt, the second year.
It's almost 2 years, believe it or not.
Well, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I think it's a good source for the consumer, and I think that people are aware of it now, and they're looking for it. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. I have a great team.
I know you do.
But it's certainly what we want to hear. Makes me feel good. So I thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Well, with that, thank you everybody for joining us today. And we will see you next week on Scouted Treasure Coast. Have a good one.